Freud already knew you wanted to be loved at any cost. Why do you need to be accepted so badly? Even when it hurts you, why do you change yourself for people who don't even care about you? Why do you say yes when you want to say no? You think it's about being nice. But Freud already knew what was really happening in your mind over 100 years ago. Before we dive in, hit subscribe if you want to understand your mind and discover what Freud uncovered about human behavior. Like this video and ring the bell. The universal addiction, approval. Let's start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time you did something you didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone? Maybe you went to a party when you wanted to stay home. Maybe you agreed with an opinion you actually hated. Maybe you stayed in a relationship that was slowly killing you inside just because you couldn't handle the idea of being the bad guy. This isn't about being a people pleaser. This is deeper. This is about something Freud called our most primitive need, the desperate hunger for love and acceptance that lives in every human being, the baby inside your adult mind. Here's what Freud discovered that changed everything. Inside your adult mind, there's still a baby. Not metaphorically, literally. There's a part of your psyche that never grew up, that still believes survival depends on being loved. Freud called this primary narcissism. Now, before you think narcissism equals bad, hold on. This isn't about being selfish. It's about something much more fundamental. Picture a newborn baby. That baby believes they're the center of the universe. They cry, and someone comes. They're hungry, and someone feeds them. They need comfort, and someone holds them. In that baby's mind, they are omnipotent, all-powerful, because their needs create reality. But here's the thing. That baby never completely disappears. It just goes underground into what Freud called the unconscious. And it's still there in your adult mind, still believing that being loved equals survival. The approval trap, how it really works. You know, when you post something on social media and keep checking the likes, that's not vanity. That's the baby inside you, checking if you're still lovable, still worthy of existing. You know, when you can't say no to your boss, even when they're asking for something unreasonable. That's not professionalism. That's the baby inside you, terrified that disappointing someone means losing their love forever. You know, when you stay quiet during a conversation because you're afraid your opinion might be wrong. That's not humility. That's the baby inside you, believing that being rejected for who you are is worse than never being seen at all. And here's the cruel irony. The more desperately you chase approval, the less likely you are to get genuine love, because people can sense desperation. They can smell neediness from a mile away. The Freudian explanation why we're stuck. Freud understood something revolutionary. We don't just want love. We want unconditional love. The kind of love that says, I will love you no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter how you mess up. But here's the problem. That kind of love only exists in one place, between a mother and her baby. And even then, it's temporary. Every child eventually learns that love has conditions, that acceptance has requirements. When you were a child, you learned that certain behaviors got you love and attention, being good, being quiet, being perfect, being funny, being helpful, and your unconscious mind made a deal. If I do these things, I'll be loved. If I don't, I'll be abandoned. That deal is still running your life today. The modern addiction, external validation in Freud's time, People sought approval from their family, their community, their church. Today, we have social media, we have dating apps, we have performance reviews. We have 1,000 ways to measure our worth through other people's eyes, and it's killing us. You check your phone 150 times a day not because you're addicted to technology. You're addicted to the possibility that someone, somewhere, might validate your existence. That someone might give you the unconditional love that baby inside you is still desperately seeking. But here's what Freud knew that you need to understand. External validation is a drug that never sat, is flies, because the person giving you approval today might withdraw it tomorrow, and then what happens to your sense of self? The price of approval addiction. Let me ask you something. What's the cost of needing to be loved at any price? You lose yourself. You become a chameleon, changing colors, depending on who's watching. You develop what psychologists call a false self, a performance of who you think people want you to be. You stop trusting your own judgment. You stop knowing what you actually want. You stop believing you deserve love just for being who you are. And the most tragic part, you end up attracting people who don't actually love you. They love the mask you're wearing, so even when you get the approval you're seeking, it feels empty. Because deep down, you know they don't really know you, the Freudian path of freedom. So what would Freud say about breaking free from this cycle? First, he'd say, become aware of the pattern. Notice when you're seeking approval. Notice when you're changing yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Notice when you're saying yes when you mean no. Second, understand the source. That desperate need for approval isn't weakness. It's a survival mechanism that worked when you were a child. But you're not a child anymore. You can survive disappointment. You can survive someone not liking you. Third, practice what Freud called sublimation, channeling that energy into something creative and meaningful. Instead of seeking approval, create something that expresses who you really are. Write, paint, build, create. Fourth, learn to give yourself the unconditional love you're seeking from others. This isn't New Age nonsense. This is practical psychology. You need to become your own good parent. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the truth Freud would tell you that no one else will. You will never get the unconditional love you're seeking from other people. Not because you're not worthy of it, but because that's not how adult relationships work. Adult love is conditional. It's based on compatibility, on shared values, on mutual respect, and that's actually a good thing. Because conditional love from the right person, someone who sees you, understands you, and chooses you, is worth more than desperate approval from 1,000 strangers. The goal isn't to stop wanting love. The goal is to stop needing it so desperately that you lose yourself in the process. What this looks like in real life. You know you're healing when you can disagree with someone without panicking about losing their love. You know you're healing when you can post something on social media and not check the likes obsessively. You know you're healing when you can say no to someone's request without feeling guilty. You know you're healing when you can be alone without feeling empty. And you know you're healing when you start attracting people who love you for who you are, not for what you do for them. The Freudian insight that changes everything. Here's what Freud understood that most people miss. The very thing that makes you human, your need for connection, for love, for acceptance, is also the thing that can destroy you if you don't understand it. But once you understand it, once you see the baby inside your adult mind, once you recognize the pattern, you have a choice. You can keep feeding that baby with external validation, or you can learn to parent yourself. Because here's the ultimate Freudian truth. The love you're seeking from others is the love you need to give yourself first. So, what do you think? Does this make sense? Have you ever caught yourself seeking approval at the cost of your own authenticity? Freud believed that understanding our unconscious motivations was the first step toward freedom. You can't change what you don't see, but once you see it, you can choose differently. If this video helped you understand something about yourself, hit that like button. Share it with someone who might need to hear this. And let me know in the comments, what's one way you've caught yourself seeking approval that you want to change? I read every comment, and I love hearing your stories, because that's what Freud taught us. We heal through being seen and understood, not through being perfect. Until next time, remember, you are already worthy of love exactly as you are. The baby inside you just needs to learn that truth.